Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and before we dive in, let me give you a powerful hook that will keep you glued to this video all the way to the end. Today, we're breaking down one of the most talked about claims circulating across the diner community, social media conversations, investment forums, and rumor networks. That claim is the idea that the Iraqi dinar has somehow reached, achieved, or been assigned a fixed rate of $2.31. Yes, the specific number 231 cents has been showing up everywhere lately, and it's creating a massive wave of attention, debates, expectations, and emotional reactions from people who follow currency discussion. But here's the twist that makes this video essential. We are not here to hype anything up, we're not here to sell dreams, and we're not here to confirm rumors as facts. We are here to break down exactly what people are talking about, why this number is circulating, how these discussions usually begin, and what holders need to understand about claims like this. In 2025, no confusing jargon, no complex financial vocabulary, just a clear, simple, easy to follow deep dive. Let's start with the core topic. The claim that the Iraqi dinar has a fixed rate of 231 now across many online communities. This number is being talked about as if it represents a huge shift, a historic move, or even a long-awaited event. People share videos, posts, and messages suggesting that a rate like this, if ever real, will represent tremendous value compared to the dinar's actual exchange rate as publicly listed by well-known financial systems. The problem, and what many people overlook, is that these conversations often spread through message chains, word-of-mouth channels, and small groups rather than official announcements. That means this number tends to grow in popularity. Even without verified confirmation, still, people talk about it because it creates hope, curiosity, and debate. In this video, we will look at how the claims arise, how they spread, and what questions responsible holders should ask whenever they see bold numbers like this appearing online. Understanding the conversation is just as important as understanding the reality behind it. Why do claims like a 231 fixed rate spread so quickly in the first place? A big reason is psychology. When people have been holding something for many years, sometimes even a decade or more, they naturally look for updates, signs of progress, and reasons to believe that something big may be around the corner. Hope becomes part of the emotional investment. Even if the financial gains never materialize, the anticipation keeps the discussion alive. People may hear someone confidently use a specific number like 2.31, and because it sounds precise, it feels credible. Precision often creates the illusion of accuracy. That alone can lead communities to repeat it until it becomes a popular talking point. This doesn't mean it's verified, it only means it's circulating. And understanding that difference is crucial for staying grounded. When we explore today's topic, our goal is to examine the discussion, not promote it as confirmed reality. We want viewers to walk away informed, steady, and clear-minded. Another reason the 231 topic gains traction is because many content creators frame it as breaking news. Even when there is no official financial authority making that announcement, the internet rewards exciting headlines. Platforms push videos with dramatic titles. The more sensational the claim, the more clicks it generates. That creates a loop where creators who want views may choose the most attention-grabbing numbers, and once a number like 231 appears in one video, it gets repeated, shared, and reposted until it starts to feel familiar. Familiarity then turns into acceptance for some viewers. Our responsibility on this channel is to break that cycle of automatic belief. We talk about what people are saying, but we also talk about what is verified and what is not. This allows you to stay informed without falling into hype. So as we continue through today's extended breakdown, keep this in mind: the conversation is real, but the claims themselves must always be examined carefully. Let's look at the word fixed rate, because this phrase is one of the main reasons people get excited. A fixed rate, in simple language, means when a country sets its currency to hold a stable, unchanging value compared to another currency or standard. Some countries do use fixed exchange systems because they create predictability in trade and financial planning. But announcements about fixed rates are major official government-level decisions. They aren't hidden, they aren't secret. They aren't quietly whispered to small groups online. They come from official institutions, publicly, clearly, and with documentation. So when you hear people casually talking about a fixed rate of 231, the biggest question you should ask yourself is, if this were real, Wouldn't it already be global news from major financial outlets? Understanding that helps you process what's being said online without unnecessary stress or excitement. It keeps you grounded and aware of how currency systems actually work in the real world. Still, while the financial reality hasn't changed, the conversation absolutely has. Many people are discussing what a number like 231 would mean if it ever became real. Some talk about life-changing value increases. Others talk about long-awaited outcomes. Some viewers express the belief that Iraq may eventually revalue or adjust its currency as part of economic progress. And the reason these conversations keep resurfacing is because Iraq is a country that has undergone major transitions over the past decades, politically, economically, and structurally. Whenever a nation is rebuilding, there's always speculation about where its economy may go in the future. People talking about 231s are reflecting their hopes, not actual confirmed updates. So while today's script explores this claim in detail, it does so purely as a breakdown of what people are discussing, never as confirmation of something officially happening. Transparency keeps the conversation honest. Let's shift into why so many holders gravitate toward numbers like 231.30. When you look at global exchange rates historically, some currencies have dramatically increased in value after major economic reforms or political stabilization. Examples exist, but they are rare, and they happen under very specific conditions. People who follow the Dinar storyline often compare Iraq to those rare historical cases, hoping that something similar may eventually occur. That doesn't mean it will, and no one can predict it, but understanding why people make these comparisons helps explain why certain rate numbers gain traction. The 231 claim becomes a symbol of what people hope for rather than a reflection of verified data. In our breakdown today, we want to help you separate hope, rumor, speculation, and factual reporting so you can navigate discussions without confusion or unrealistic expectation. Now let's talk about the structure of online conversation. When a claim begins circulating, especially a dramatic one, it often starts with a small group that believes they have access to insider information. These groups sometimes use terms like tiers, private exchanges, or secret notification. And because these kinds of terms sound mysterious or exclusive, they pull people in. The language makes the claim feel special, even when there's no evidence behind it. Over time, more people repeat what they heard, and the claim spreads wider. Eventually, you get thousands of people repeating the same message, even though it still has no confirmed source. That is how the 231 number became a talking point. It didn't appear from official channels, it appeared from community conversation, and that distinction matters because it explains why responsible holders must stay cautious, realistic, and well-informed. Let's continue with a key reminder for anyone watching in public finance. Major currency changes don't happen quietly. They don't happen secretly. They don't happen through hidden groups receiving privileged updates. If a country adjusts its currency by even a small amount, the entire global financial system reacts instantly. The information flows through official institutions, banking networks, currency trackers, and international reporting platforms immediately. So when you hear someone say, this rate is confirmed, always pause and ask, confirmed by whom? Because if it isn't coming from publicly recognized authorities, then it isn't confirmed. It's discussed, repeated, or rumored but not verified. And understanding that helps you participate in conversations without becoming overwhelmed by claims that may not reflect the current reality. Now let's break down why specific numbers like 231 often appear instead of general statements. When someone gives a precise value, it creates a stronger emotional reaction. It feels calculated, it feels official, even if it isn't. People in currency rumor circles often use very specific numbers to make their claims sound more believable. The number 231.31 says is not random in these discussions. It is repeated because it sounds like something that might come from a spreadsheet, a policy document, or a financial table. That illusion of detail is what keeps the rumor circulating year after year. But being informed means understanding that a number can sound convincing without being verified. It takes only a few confident voices repeating a number to make an entire community start believing it is real. That is why we encourage every viewer to always step back, read, and think critically when hearing claims that appear too perfect or too dramatic. In this video, our goal is to take these rumors apart carefully and give you a clear, balanced perspective. Let's also talk about how large online communities can unintentionally amplify unverified claims. When someone posts a bold statement, especially something that sounds like good news, people who want it to be true will often share it before checking the facts. This creates a fast-moving chain reaction within hours. Thousands of people may be repeating something that began with a single comment or video, and the more it spreads, the more legitimate it feels to newcomers. This is not unique to the diner community, it happens everywhere online. But currency discussions feel more intense because money is emotional. People hope for financial improvement. And when hope blends with rumor, the result can feel very convincing. That is why channels like this one focus on calm, grounded analysis. We want viewers to understand the conversation without falling into the emotional side of speculation. The 231 claim is a perfect example of how a single number can take on a life of its own, even without official confirmation. Another important point is how long-term holders react emotionally when big claims appear. Many people have held onto their diner for years, sometimes storing notes in safes, folders, envelopes, or secure location. When you hold something for a long time, it becomes natural to look for a sign that your patience might pay off someday. That emotional connection makes large, exciting claims feel powerful. Even if people logically know the claim might not be verified, they still feel drawn to the possibility. That is why it's essential to separate emotional investment from factual information. Hope is fine, interest is fine, but making decisions based on unverified rumors can lead to misunderstandings and disappointment. In this script, we break things down so viewers can manage expectations and stay grounded, especially when encountering claims like the supposed 231 fixed rate circulating online in 2025. The more clarity people have, the stronger and more secure they feel when hearing these big claims. Let's now explore why Iraq often becomes the center of speculation. Iraq is a country rich in natural resources, especially oil. It has a large population, growing development projects, and ongoing economic reforms. Because of these factors, people naturally speculate about how the nation might grow or change financially in the future. When a country rebuilds, restructures, or modernizes its economy, it becomes a magnet for speculation. Several communities look at Iraq's potential and imagine possible long-term outcomes, but imagining outcomes and confirming outcomes are two very different things. The conversation around the 231 number doesn't come from official institutions, it comes from people combining their hopes with the country's potential. That is why conversations spread so quickly, they blend optimism with rumor. In today's video, we highlight that difference clearly so viewers can feel empowered rather than confused. Understanding the distinction between potential and confirmation is critical. Another topic people discuss is the idea of structured exchanges or tiers. These phrases appear often in online groups talking about currencies like the dinar. The problem is that these terms are rarely tied to real, verifiable banking processes. Instead, they function like buzzwords that sound important, but don't actually reflect official financial procedures. Real banks follow clear, regulated public processes. They do not run hidden tiers, quiet exchange groups, or secret early access programs for currency revaluation. So when you hear people connect the 231 claim with terms like tier 4 billions or structured liquidity releases, understand that these are part of the online rumor vocabulary, not part of actual global banking systems. Our mission is to help viewers separate real-world finance from rumor-based terminology. When you understand what's real and what's not, you can approach the conversation calmly, rationally, and with confidence. Let's also talk about the difference between market rumors and recognized financial updates. A recognized financial update comes from an official institution such as a central bank, government entity, or international financial organization. It is publicly published, clearly documented, and easily verifiable. A market rumor, however, is informal. It may come from an email, a text message, a forum, or a YouTube video. It spreads through conversation, not documentation. The 231 claim clearly falls into the rumor category because no recognized institutions have announced such a rate. But even though it's a rumor, it's still part of the conversation. That's why we talk about it, not to validate it, but to explain how rumors travel and influence people. When viewers learn to identify the difference between rumor and verification, they become stronger decision makers, and that is one of the main goals of this channel: to inform, not excite, to clarify, not confuse, and to present information responsibly. Now, let's look at the practical side. What should holders actually do when they encounter claims like the 231 rumor? The first step is to stay calm. Big numbers naturally create big emotions, but staying grounded keeps your thinking clear. The second step is to look for confirmation directly for official public sources. If something is not announced to official channels, then it is not confirmed. The third step is to review your holdings realistically, not based on what someone online says, but based on verified information. And the fourth step is to avoid making rushed decisions. Rumors can make people panic or get excited, but decisions made during emotional moments often lead to regret. Being a responsible holder means being informed, steady, and realistic. Today's video gives you tools to do exactly that, especially when encountering dramatic claims like the alleged 231 fixed rate. With that said, let's explore why some people strongly believe these rumors even when they lack verification. A major reason is repetition. When a rumor is repeated for years, it begins to feel familiar. Familiarity often feels like truth even when no evidence supports it. Another reason is community influence. If people surrounding you, friends, relatives, online groups talk about a rumor as if it is real, it becomes harder to question it. The 231 rumor has benefited from both repetition and community reinforcement. It has been discussed for so long that many people assume it must have some foundation. But as we've shown today, familiarity does not equal verification. That's why channels like this one help break the cycle by providing perspective and clarity. When you understand how repetition affects belief, you gain the ability to stay grounded and avoid being swept up by emotional waves of speculation. Let's also examine why dramatic financial rumors are so attractive. People are naturally drawn to ideas that promise sudden opportunity or rapid improvement. It's the same psychology behind lottery tickets, investment hype, and get-rich-quick story. The difference here is that currency rumors often sound more serious because they are framed as economic updates rather than fantasies. When people hear something like the dinar is now at 231, it taps into powerful emotional areas: hope, relief, excitement, expectation. Those emotions make the claim feel bigger and more believable than it actually is. Understanding this emotional effect helps you protect yourself from misinformation. Today's script breaks things down, not just logically, but psychologically. When you understand how your emotions play into the rumor cycle, you become much better equipped to analyze information calmly and intelligently. Another layer worth exploring is how global economic discussions often get simplified or misunderstood online. Currency valuation is complex. It involves inflation levels, international reserves, government policies, trade balances, and many other real-world factors. But when these topics get turned into rumors, the complexity disappears and only the exciting part remains. Someone might take a tiny piece of economic information and stretch it into a massive claim, or they may misunderstand a financial term and turn it into something dramatic. The 231 claim fits neatly into this pattern. It takes a complex subject, currency valuation, and reduces it to a single number without context. That's why videos like this one are important. They bring context back into the conversation. They restore accuracy. They help people see the bigger picture instead of the rumor version of the story. Now let's explore what people are actually saying when they talk about the 231 rumor. In many online discussions, people describe it as confirmed, in motion, or already active behind the scenes. They talk about banks preparing, systems being updated, and global partners working quietly. These kinds of statements create the impression that something major is happening out of public view, but real financial systems don't operate in secret windows. When a country adjusts a currency, it isn't hidden, it becomes openly visible on every regulated platform. So when people claim the 231 rate is active, it's secret. That alone tells us the claim is a rumor, not a verified fact. Still, people continue discussing it because it aligns with their hopes. This video allows you to listen to the conversation while still staying firmly rooted in reality. Let's bring it back to you, the viewer and holder. You deserve clarity, honesty, and a realistic perspective. You deserve information that respects your intelligence and doesn't take advantage of your hopes. In today's world, misinformation spreads faster than ever. That's why this channel focuses on giving you clear explanations rather than emotional hype. When you hear something like the dinar is now 231, you should always remember, if it's real, it will be public. If it's not public, it is not confirmed. Simple rule, strong rule. reliable rule. With this, you can navigate conversations with calmness and confidence. You don't have to fall for drama, pressure, or exaggerated claims. You can stay steady, realistic, and well-informed. To close today's extended breakdown, let's summarize the real message behind all this discussion. The claim that the Iraqi dinar holds a fixed rate of 231 cents is something people are talking about widely in 2025, but that does not make it verified. It is a conversation, not a confirmed financial update. The number spreads because it is emotional, specific, dramatic, and hopeful. But your strength comes from staying informed, staying grounded, and separating rumor from reality. In today's script, we walked through why these claims spread, how they gain traction, why people respond so strong, and how you can protect yourself from misinformation while still staying engaged in the discussion. If you found value in this deep, clear, and honest breakdown, be sure to like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you always get grounded, responsible updates. Thanks for watching. Stay informed, stay smart, and remember, conversation can be interesting, but confirmations must always come from official sources.